Imagine walking down a deserted dirt road in the absolute silence of a Thursday night. The air is heavy, and the moon is hidden behind thick clouds. Suddenly, the ground begins to vibrate. You hear the sound of hooves hitting the dry earth like iron hammers striking an anvil. A thick smell of sulfur and burnt hair fills your lungs. You look back and you don't see an ordinary animal. What you see is a colossal creature, with a terrifying spout of hellfire gushing from where its head should be. It neighs, but it's not a horse's sound, it's a distorted human cry of agony. Forget what they taught you in children's books. The true story of the Headless Mule is a tale of blood, ancient curses, and a terror that has paralyzed entire generations for centuries. Why would a woman be condemned to turn into a fire-breathing beast? And more importantly, is there a real way to survive if you cross its path? Today, we are going to unearth the dark roots of this myth, understand the disturbing psychology behind the monster, and reveal modern accounts that prove this fire might still be burning in the dark. Before we dive into the forbidden origin of this curse, I have a challenge for you. If you love dark folklore and want to see more legends from the deepest corners of the world, hit that like button right now. It tells the algorithm that stories like this need to be told. Done it? Now, let's go back to where the nightmare began. Before we dive into the forbidden origin of this curse, I have a challenge for you. If you love dark folklore and want to see more legends from the deepest corners of the world, hit that like button right now. It tells the algorithm that stories like this need to be told. Done it? Now, let's go back to where the nightmare began. The genesis of the curse. To truly understand the terror of the Headless Mule, we have to travel back to a colonial Brazil of deep forests and isolated villages. In this world, the church's word was the only law. This isn't just a monster story, it's a story about a spiritual collapse. In the folklore, the Headless Mule is a woman who has been erased by a divine punishment. The legend states that any woman who falls in love with a priest and engages in a forbidden romance is condemned. The anatomy of the nightmare. Now, let's talk about the anatomy of this nightmare. Witnesses describe the canto de Mula, a sound that haunts the dreams of those who hear it. It's a mournful braying that sounds like a woman trying to scream through a throat filled with red-hot coals. Then, there are the chains. In many accounts, the mule wears heavy iron bridles that drag behind her, screeching against the stones and throwing sparks into the air. And the fire, this isn't a normal flame. It's a spiritual fire that gushes from the stump of her neck like lava. Some legends say that if you look directly into that fire, you see the tormented face of the woman trapped inside. Her hooves are made of a metal that doesn't exist in nature, leaving scorched craters in the earth. If you ever hear those hooves, the old folks say, throw yourself face down. Hide your fingernails. Hide your teeth. She is attracted to anything that reflects light. If she spots you, she won't stop until you are trampled into the dust. We are about to enter the part of the story where we explain how to break the curse, and it's much more violent than you think. But first, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below letting me know which legend you want us to cover next. Is it the shape-shifting Mapinguari or the haunting Seisai? Your suggestions literally shape the future of this channel. The ritual of blood and iron, so, imagine you are trapped. The smell of sulfur is suffocating. You have two choices, hide or attempt to break the curse. But this isn't a fairy tale. To stop the Headless Mule, you have to draw blood. Ancient lore suggests you need an iron nail or a blessed silver pin. You have to stand your ground as a creature of muscle and hellfire charges at you, and at the last second, you must strike. The moment that drop of blood hits the soil, the fire vanishes. The iron hooves shatter. The hide tears away, and lying there in the dirt, exhausted and naked, is the woman. But the relief is short-lived. If you don't remove the iron bridle from her neck while she is human, the curse will simply reset the following Thursday. You aren't just fighting a monster, you are performing a brutal exorcism. If you fail, she will trample your soul into the mud. The priest and the social ghost, every story has two sides. We've talked about the woman's agony, but what about the priest? In the folklore, the punishment is asymmetrically cruel. While the woman is transformed into a beast, the priest's curse is internal. He is consumed by a spiritual rot. Some accounts suggest he is forced to witness his lover's transformation every week, knowing that his broken vows are the fuel for her fire. This legend served as a social ghost, a warning used to keep the clergy beyond reproach and the community in fear. It turned every neighbor into a potential investigator. Modern shadows, we live in an age of satellites and constant light. But the headless mule didn't disappear. She just moved deeper into the shadows. Even today, truck drivers on lonely highways report their engines dying for no reason. In the silence, they smell it, burning sulfur. Some have looked in their mirrors only to see a trail of glowing red embers fading into the trees. Skeptics call these hallucinations, but they can't explain the scorched hoofprints or the cold fires that leave no ash. The legend remains powerful because it taps into the fear of losing our humanity. Next time you hear a chain dragging on the asphalt, do not look back. The fire of the headless mule has burned for centuries, and perhaps it always will. If this story chilled your blood, subscribe to Cryptids and Curses right now and turn on the bell icon. We are building a community of those who dare to look into the dark, and we don't want you to miss our next hunt. Don't forget to comment with your ideas for our next video. Your feedback is what keeps this fire alive. Thanks for watching, stay safe in the shadows, and I'll see you in the next hunt. I'm out.